Good morning, students. In the last class, we discussed about the Ohm's law. So, how the conductance in an electronic conductor varies with the length of the conductor and area of cross section. Also, we discussed how the conductance of the conductor depends upon the resistance. Also, we discussed about the conductance, specific conductance, equivalent and molar conductance of an electrolyte. How to calculate the equivalent conductance, how to calculate the molar conductance, and also what are the relationship between the equivalent and the molar conductance. Now today we will discuss what are the factors that are affecting the conductance of an electrolyte. So factors affecting the conductance of the electrolytes. Factors affecting conductance. Factors affecting conductance. Okay. So the conductance of an electrolyte is being affected by the nature of the electrolyte, temperature and the concentration or the dilution. Okay. What is part of the nature of the electrolyte? Nature of the electrolyte. Number 2, temperature. Number 3, concentration. Okay. So the conductance of an electrolyte depends upon the nature of the electrolyte, temperature and your concentration of the electrolyte. First of all, the nature of the electrolyte. We know we have the strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte. Okay. We have what all? We have strong and weak electrolyte and weak electrolyte. Strong electrolytes are those which undergo complete ionization and whose alpha is equal to what? 1. So because the degree of dissociation of the strong electrolytes are very high, so more and more number of ions are being formed, hence the conductance is more as compared to this one. In a weak electrolyte, the degree of dissociation is very small, the alpha is what? Less than 1. So because the dissociation is less, so the number of ions formed will be less and hence the conductance will be less. So when we are having strong electrolytes like strong acids, okay, and strong bases, they can conduct more, while the weak electrolytes like weak acids and weak bases can conduct less. Okay. So this is how the conductance depends upon the nature of the electrolyte. Now next one is what is the temperature. Okay. So the conductance of the electrolytes increases by increasing temperature. So when you increase temperature, the number of ions dissociating becomes more and hence the conductance will be also more. It is found that near about there is an increase of 2% of the conductance by the increase of your temperature 1 degree. Okay. So next is your concentration. So concentration plays the vital role in the conductance of the electrolyte. Normally, with increasing dilution, the concentration decreases. But on dilution, the number of ions dissociated becomes more. Number of ions dissociating increases. So, with increasing dilution, concentration decreases, okay, but the number of ions dissociating increases, because the number of ions dissociating increases and hence what will condensation increases. Condensation increases. So, with increasing dilution, the condensation what will increases. Increasing dilution, the concentration decreases, okay, that means the number of ions dissociating increases, because the number of ions becomes more, hence the condensation becomes more. So, with increasing dilution, that is a decreasing concentration, the condensation or what increases, okay. But whether we have the two kinds of electrolytes, strong and a weak one, strong and a weak one. So, we have strong electrolyte. In case of strong electrolyte, the electrolyte already dissociated into ions. So, more number of ions are already there. They have already shown their constants. Now, on dilution, no more ions are going to form, because already ions have been dissociated. It is strong electrolytes. So, in case of strong electrolytes, on dilution there is a slight increase in the constants. Okay, and if you dilute at infinite position, on infinite dilution, so the constants will increase and will reach at a limiting value. Beyond that, there is no increase of constants in case of strong electrolyte. Okay, so when we have strong electrolytes, the ions have already dissociated, the electrolyte have already shown its constants. So, if you go for further dilution, so there is a slight increase of constants, and at infinite dilution, so the constants of the electrolytes will reach at a limiting value. Beyond that, there is no further increase of the constants. Okay, but when we have the weak electrolyte, here in case of weak electrolyte, so the electrolyte dissociated into a small extent. So, less number of ions are there, accordingly the constants is less. So, when you go for dilution, when you dilute, that means you will decrease the concentration more and more, the number of ions formed will become more and more, and hence the condensation will become more. So, in case of weak electrolyte, there is a large increase of condensation on dilution, and if your dilution will reach at infinite positions, here the condensation will not approach any limiting value like a strong electrolyte. In fact, if you try to draw the conclusion of the value of condensation at infinite dilution, okay, you cannot reach at a particular value. Okay, so in case of weak electrolytes, the condensation is not approaching any limiting value. So it becomes difficult to calculate the condensation of a weak electrolyte at infinite dilution, which is possible at this case. So, in order to solve this, Colas gave a law called what? Colas law. So to calculate the contents of a weak electrolyte at infinite dilation, so we can use the Colas law. With the help of Colas law, we can calculate the contents of a weak electrolyte at infinite dilation. Okay. Now let's discuss what is the Colas law. Okay. Colas law. Okay. Now what is the Colas law? Colas law is also called what? Law of independent migration of ions. Called what? Law of independent migration of ions. Colas law or law of independent migration of ions. So what says it? See, when we are Colas law or law of independent migration of ions, what says it? At infinite dilution, when dissociation completes, each ion makes a definite contribution toward the equivalent or molar contents of the electrolyte, irrespective of the other ions with which it is associated, and that at infinite dilution the molar or equivalent contents of the electrolyte is the sum of the equivalent or molar contents of the cations and anions present at that moment. So if you take electrolytes and allow it for infinite dilution, we will get the ions, cation and anion. Now if you want to calculate the equivalent contents or the molar contents at that infinite dilution, so that will be equal to what? Sum of the equivalent contents of the cation and anion. Okay. So what you can say, if we will take lambda m m0, that is what? Molar contents at infinite dilution of an electrolyte AX By, okay, is equal to what? Lambda 0 C X of cation plus Y lambda 0 A. Okay. So here lambda m0 is what? Molar conductance at infinite dilution, okay, of the electrolyte, lambda C0 is what? Molar conductance of the cation at infinite dilution, okay. Lambda A0 is the molar conductance of the anion at infinite dilution. X is the number of cations number of cations. Now y is the number of anions. Okay. So this lambda m0 of the electrolyte xby is what you know x y c0 plus y lambda x lambda c0 plus y lambda a0. This is what the equivalent molar contents at infinity of the electrolyte. This is what you know the molar contents at infinity of the cation. This is for anion, the number of cation and number of anion. Similarly, if I can take for equal contents, what I can write lambda eq0, okay, is equal to lambda 0c plus lambda eq0 of c plus lambda eq0 a, okay, say m, okay, take m, okay. So if lambda eq0 is what we want, equal quantities of electrolyte at infinite dilution, okay, and lambda eq0 c is the equal quantities of the cation at infinite dilution, and lambda eq0 a is the equal quantities of the anion at the infinite dilution, okay. So what you can say here, you can write, okay, lambda eq0 is equal to equivalent conductance at infinite dilution, okay, of the electrolyte, okay, and lambda eq c and lambda eq a are what? Are equivalent contents of cation and anion at infinite dilution respectively, okay. Okay, so here you can see that when we reach at infinite dilution, now the equal contents of all the molar contents you can calculate by the sum of the equivalent and molar contents of the cation and anion, okay. Now and by this applying this Colas law, okay, we can calculate the molar conductivity of the electrolytes, we can calculate the degree of dissociation, we can calculate the dissociation constant, okay. Now see what are the applications of this Colas law, okay. Applications of Colas law. What are the applications? We can calculate the molar conductivity of the electrolyte, and also we can calculate the degree of dissociation, and also we can calculate the dissociation constant. Let's see, okay. Applications of Colas law, okay. Number 1, calculation of molar condenser at infinite of weak electrolytes. Okay, calculation of molar condenser aid infinite of weak electrolytes. Okay, we already know from Colas law. Okay, lambda m0 is equal to, okay, lambda 0 c plus lambda 0 a. Okay, so if I can calculate lambda m0 of CH3COOH suppose is equal to what? Lambda m0 of CH3CO minus plus lambda m0 H plus. So in this way we can calculate the molar conductivity of the electrolyte. So CH3COH is a weak electrolyte. Okay, at infinite dilution the molar conductivity of this acetic acid is equal to what? The molar conductivity of the acetate ion, the anion, okay, and the cation. Okay, clear? Now similarly calculation of degree of dissociation and your dissociation constant. Let's see, suppose AB is an electrolyte. Suppose AB is an electrolyte. Dissociation into what? A plus plus B minus. At time t equal to 0, we have C mole per liter of AB. 0 and 0. At equilibrium, suppose at equilibrium, suppose we have C alpha. Where alpha is what? Degree of dissociation. So alpha dissociation, C alpha will dissociate. The remaining what? C minus C alpha. Here we get what? C alpha and C alpha. So alpha is what? Alpha is what? Alpha is in degree of dissociation. Okay. C is what? Molar concentration. Okay. Now applying law of chemical equilibrium. We have what? K equal to A plus into B minus divided by what? AB. Now how much is A plus here? C alpha. How much B minus here? C alpha. Divided by C into 1 minus alpha. This is C minus alpha is what? C into 1 minus alpha. Equal to what? Alpha square C by 1 minus alpha. So what do we write here? What you can write? That K equal to alpha square C by 1 minus alpha. Now this is what also we can take what you the dissociation constant of the electrolyte. What you can say? Dissociation constant Kc equal to what? K is equal to alpha square C by 1 minus alpha. So K is the dissociation constant of the electrolyte. Then K equal to what? Alpha square C by 1 minus alpha. Okay. What is alpha? The degree of dissociation can be calculated by R here. So okay. Alpha equal to what? The lambda m C by lambda m0. So lambda m C is what? The molar conductance at the given concentration divided by lambda m0 what molar conductance at the infinite dilation. So once you know the molar concentration infinite dilation and the given concentration, you can calculate alpha, and from the alpha we can calculate what this is the constant k. Okay, so here what the lambda m is equal what molar conductivity at a given concentration okay, and the lambda m0 is what molar conductivity okay at a infinite dilution. Okay, so once you calculate alpha, okay, from the alpha value, alpha from lambda m and lambda mc and lambda m0, you can calculate. Also the dissociation constant you can calculate. Okay, so here c is what molar concentration, alpha is the what degree of dissociation, k is what dissociation constant. So in this way, so this is also one of the applications of what the Colas law. Now let us discuss some numerical based on this Colas laws applications. Okay. Or the problem numerical on the Colas application of Colas law, the molar conductance of 0.025 mole per liter of HCOH, that means the concentration C is equal to given how much? C is equal to 0.025. C is equal to 0.025 mole liter inverse. The molar concentration of this much of HCOH is what 46.15 cm square mole inverse. Okay. Ohm inverse. Okay, so lambda mc is equal to what 46.15 ohm inverse cm square mole inverse given, and calculate degree of dissociation alpha we have to calculate, and also the dissociation constant k we have to calculate. Okay, so we know we have alpha is equal to lambda m at c by lambda m at 0. So we have the value of lambda m at c, so we have to calculate the lambda m at 0. Okay, so how can you calculate? Now lambda m0 of HCOOH is equal to given here lambda 0 HCOO minus plus lambda 0 H plus, okay, is equal to how much 300 given what 54.6 equal to what 54.6 plus 349 plus 6.6 is equal to what 404.2 ohm inverse cm square mole inverse, this one. Okay, now we have alpha equal to what lambda m at c by lambda m at 0. Lambda m at c given how much 46.15 divided by what 404.2 is equal to how much 0.1140. Okay, now k distinction k equal to what alpha square c by 1 minus alpha, this is equal to alpha square c, alpha 0.1140 square into c C how much euro? 0.025 divided by what euro? 1 minus alpha. So 1 minus 0.025. Okay, this is equal to how much you can get? This one. Okay, equal to what euro? 3.67 into 10 power of minus 4 mole per liter. Okay, so in this way we can calculate the molar condensation at the infinite dimension. Number 1, we can calculate degree of dissolution alpha, we can calculate dissolution constant K. Okay, all the three we can calculate. And the one is here calculate the molar concentration at infinite of CH3COH from the given data. So given here number 0 HCl given, CH3CON given and NaCl given. So what you can write? You can write CH3COOH is equal to CH3COONA, okay, plus HCl minus NaCl. That is what you know. Here you can get CH3COO minus plus Na plus H plus Cl minus Na plus Cl minus. Okay, so is equal to what you know? Is equal to what you know? CH3COH. Okay, so this will cancel. We will get what? CH3CO minus and H plus. Okay, so lambda 0 m of lambda m0 of CH3COOH is equal to, okay, lambda m0 CH3COO minus plus lambda m0 H plus. Now this equal to can add what euro? You can add what euro? Lambda m0 CH3COO minus plus lambda m0 Na plus. This equal to this plus lambda m0 H plus lambda m0 Cl minus minus lambda m0 Na plus lambda m0 Cl minus. So here you see the lambda m0 CH3COO minus plus lambda m0 Na plus, okay, is equal to what euro? Is equal to what euro? Lambda m0 CH3CONA. Okay, now lambda m0 H plus lambda 0 m Cl minus is equal to what euro? Lambda 0 HCl. तो CH3CONA plus HCl minus lambda m0 NL plus lambda 0 Cl minus equal to what? Lambda m0 NaCl. तो CH3CONA plus HCl minus NaCl is equal to what? CH3COH. So this is equal to 9. We can now put the values of this equal to what? Lambda m0 CH3CONA plus lambda m0 HCl minus lambda m0 NaCl. Okay. Now if you put these values, so put the values of what? This one and this one, you can get what? The value of this one. Okay. So now the lambda m0 CH3CONA is how much? 91 plus lambda m0 HCl is how much? 426.2 plus minus lambda m0 NaCl is how much? 126.5. This equal will get what? 390.7 ohm inverse Cm square mole inverse. Okay, so So in this way, we can calculate what is the molar conductivity. Okay, this is all about your Colas law. In the next class, we will discuss about your electrochemical cells. Okay, thank you.